Hi, I'm Dr. Elliot Adam from ElliotOracle.com. I'm also the author of the best-selling Fearless Tarot and also the award-winning Tarot in Love, Consulting the Cards and Matters of the Heart. Both books are available from Llewellyn Books. They're available online wherever books are sold. And I want to thank all of you who took the time to leave a review on Amazon or on Barnes & Noble or wherever you got the book because it really is helping my work get out there more. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. That really makes a huge difference for authors. It is time for this week's Oracle reveal. So yesterday on my social media, I placed up a photo of 3 different animals and I asked you to use your intuition and ask yourself which animal seems to be calling to you because that animal has your message. And the 3 animals were the owl, the fox, and the raven. So if you're just joining me now, ask yourself, which animal seems to be calling to you at this time? It doesn't have to be your favorite animal, it just has to be the one that's getting caught in your head because that animal has your message. For those of you who picked the owl is long associated with wisdom, and the owl can see that which others cannot see. It can see in the dark. And it's an animal archetype of intuitives, sometimes even magical people. And also, owl is that silent flyer. They can be subtle and quiet and yet affect great change that way. This could be a time to be observant, to listen more, to be paying attention to what's around you, and also to not be afraid to look into the shadow. First card for Owl is where it's best to place your focus this next week. And we have what comes out at night when the owl is on its hunt, and it's the star. And for me, the star is the card of hope in the tarot. It is a card as well of immortality, true spiritual purpose, wisdom that's accumulated over the ages. And in the major arcana, it comes up after some of the most challenging cards in the tarot. So after the Hangman and the Death card and the Devil card and the Tower card, you finally get to the Oasis of the Star. And it does represent that there's just this little light at the end of the tunnel for you. And you need to stay focused on it. Stars are also maps for sailors at night when they're lost at sea. So this could be a time when you're navigating through the dark, but you have everything you need in your own spirit to help guide you through this time. The advice from your inner wisdom, if you pick the owl, is the Knight of Wands. He's the card of foreigners, foreign places, new beginnings, and a new energy. He's telling you that life is an adventure and that you need to open up to its full possibilities at this time. Sometimes this is a card of travel, too, on a literal level. And sometimes it's just as simple as getting out of your familiar surroundings and exposing yourself to something that's new. Knight of Wands is telling you that adventure awaits. And so this could be a time for you to really be bold and be strong. It's also a time where the energy is shifted. You're coming out of the dark, and it does look like there's this new adventure ahead for you. And so you just want to gallop into it. And then the mythic archetype that's going to help you this next week is Hathor. And Hathor is the goddess of love and beauty in ancient Egypt. She's associated with Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty. She has to do with connections, pleasure, enjoyment, music, but she also has to do with vibrancy and simply feeling alive. And so I just kind of feel for the owl this next week. It's time to get into your heart. It's time to see the hope and the possibility that's ahead for you. It might also be a time to just get into your body more, not be in your head so much, but instead just sort of like open yourself to life, its pleasures, and all the exotic wonders that are out there. Next, we're going to go into the fox animal spirit. And fox, for me, I mean, they're very playful on this card. That's so adorable. I guess it could represent playfulness and loyalty to family and all of that. But for me, fox can also symbolize cunning, intelligence, outwitting an obstacle, outwitting a challenge, outsmarting the thing that's in front of you. First card for Fox is where is it best for you to place your focus, and we got the Eight of Cups, which is often a card that's associated with a search for authenticity. The Eight of Cups shows this figure who's reminiscent of the hermit. He's on that night journey. He's going toward the land of water and grottos. And this is a symbol for him getting back in touch with his feelings, his emotions. And there's an eclipse happening on the card. The moon is blocking out the sun. The moon is a symbol for your inner authentic self. And just now, it's taking precedence over the sun, which is a symbol for your image, how you want other people to see you. This is a card that really calls you to delve into who you really are again. It's time to make that the important thing, not how something appears on the surface. Sometimes this is a card that calls you back to your authentic self. The advice from your inner wisdom is the Nine of Wands. This card shows a figure who's got a bandage on his head. He's been bumped and bruised by life. It hasn't been easy, and yet he's resilient. He's still standing. He's also created a fence with 8 of the 9 wands behind him. And I like to think it's to protect himself from whatever did cause the bumping and bruising before this. This is a card that's saying you might need some boundaries this next week. You might need to be really clear about where your space is, Fox, and really take that space back. It might also be a time to do some soul searching, but it's also a card that tells you to persevere, never give up. Get yourself back up, dust yourself off, get back in the ring, because you will succeed. And the mythic archetype that's going to help you this next week is Nephthys or Nephthys. She's the twin sister of Isis, the goddess of magic, but she's a goddess who's associated with the underworld. And this could be a time as well, with that 8 of Cups card, of soul searching. Symbolically, the underworld is the place that the hero has to go in order to be initiated, to learn a great lesson. And here we have that goddess of the underworld, who's akin to Persephone. And it's all about going within, finding the buried treasure, because that's also what's in the underworld. It's a card and an archetype of releasing that which is dead, that which is no longer needed, and to demarcate the things that might have hurt you before from what's available to you right now, what you're allowing in your space or in your environment. I just feel like this is a time of huge change and transformation for the Fox, and you're going to want to be strategic about how you undergo this transformation. And then finally, we have the raven animal spirit. And ravens are, let's just face it, magical creatures. They have those iridescent black feathers, meaning that they embrace the shadow. They can see the healing properties of the darkness, of going within the dark places and bringing awareness to them. Raven is also long associated with witches, and so this could be a time as well where you're getting a little bit more magical, where you're also allowing that magic to flow around you, really focusing on what your intentions are. Where are you placing your focus? Because where your attention goes, the energy flows, and so this might be a time to be very responsible for that. Where are you putting that energy? First card for Raven is where it's best for you to place your focus this next week. And we have the 3 of Wands, which says the future is bright. It's wide open and waiting. It's a huge blank canvas. And with that magic that's going on right now, with that focus on your current reality, this could be a time to start to imagine all the things that could be possible for you over the horizon. The figure on this card's looking over the waters that are glowing orange from sunrise or sunset. He's looking at new lands and new places, new opportunities. And so too for you, if you pick the Raven, you may be on the precipice of some huge, magical, transformative energy. And it's so important that you're really cooperating with it. The advice from your inner wisdom, if you pick the Raven, the brave messenger of love, the Knight of Cups. He's not only the messenger of your heart, he's also the messenger of your bliss. And the Knight of Cups is telling you to follow your bliss, to go on that quest. I feel like there's a new quest opening up for the Raven, and it's leading you toward your heart's desire, the Holy Grail. I just feel like this is going to be a time for you to reclaim your youth, reclaim the sense of imagination and possibility. And finally, the Knight of Cups is very loving. He's very declarative. He communicates what he's feeling with other people. Maybe to get your own adventure started, you need to start communicating what you really desire, what you're really feeling, instead of holding your cards close to your sleeve. And then the mythic archetype that's going to help you, if you pick Raven, is Anuket. And she is the archetype of hope, but she's also the goddess of the flooding of the Nile. And the Egyptians relied on that so much. It's how they got their food. It's what their whole seasonal system was based on, was the Nile flooding. And this is the goddess who would open up the floodgates and bring in all that nourishing soil so that the people could be fed. I feel like there is this floodgate opening up for you, Raven. New possibilities, new hope, and nourishment is ahead for you as well. So don't give up hope, even if you're facing the shadow. The Raven has that sort of magic to it. And that is this week's Oracle. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can always follow me on my social media, Elliot Oracle. And if you found this video useful, please do share it with a friend. Like, subscribe, comment. I love reading the comments, and even add a little emoji in the comment section because that helps YouTube put me on their algorithm. I do hope you have a wonderful week, whatever it is that you're doing. And if you want to schedule a one-on-one tarot session with me, you can always do that at elliotoracle.com. You can take a look at my schedule and see what works best for you. Otherwise, again, I'll see you again here next week, so do take care.